Let's give it a couple minutes just to kind of let my nerves flow. Ease my nerves. Oh my god. What the You're in the making, folks. Oh my god. Really nervous. I'm gonna give it a little bit more time. Come on. History in the making, folks. There, also, I have every. Give myself 2 more minutes just to kind of let people come in. The fact there's so many people watching already makes me a little bit nervous. I'm like, hello, why are there 12 people watching? Hello. Okay. Good day. Hello. Oh my god. Welcome in. Okay, holy shit. Remember to drink water, y'all. Okay. I think. Alright, guys, see me? I'll give it a little bit more. Okay. Oh, okay. I think we're working now. Oh, I'm just gonna quickly see if I can adjust everything. But hello. Oh God, I'm really nervous. If you can't tell, but hello everyone. Hello. I hope you're all having a good day, night, whatever time it is. I know for some people it might be morning for you. If it is, good morning. If it's evening for you, then hello. VTuber arc? No, we're not in a VTuber arc. It's PNG tuber. Okay, my stream. Hold on a second, fellas. I need to just quickly fix. I think my chat is not like quite working the way that I need it to. Give me one. This is fine. I need to just, or it might just be like this. One moment. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna need to adjust this. Turn myself up a bit. Okay, good to know. Thank you, twin. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very new to all this, y'all. So please do give me like, you know, a little bit of some patience. VTuber Arc Fog. So many people joining. Thank you all for coming to my, I guess, my first stream. Hold on a second. I will just quickly adjust the stream size. Okay, I think this should be a little bit better for now. I think I may just need to be a little bit bigger. So, give me one moment. stream! Hello, hello! Okay, I think this should be good now. Okay, so enough people keep talking. But, hi everyone! Wow! I think I saw further reduce the crop on the chat. Yeah, I think I fixed it already, but I think it's just showing up a bit weird for now. But there, it's working. Hello, hello! Okay, some of you may remember when I tried to stream like 5 years ago, and that was on my computer. I have no clue still what I'm doing, but I did want to try and get into streaming now that I do have a setup, like a proper PC. Because when I was doing streaming before, it was either on my phone with things like Twitcast or Twitter Spaces, or still Twitcast, but I was on my laptop and I could not really plug in like a good microphone, so the quality on that was kind of ass. I'd like to think this is a bit of an upgrade. So yeah, I'm really glad to see a lot of people coming in and watching. We have 15 people already. That's crazy. Holy fuck. But yes, hello, hello, hello. I hope everyone's doing well. I have a couple of things planned for today. Not anything too crazy. I'm also gonna see really quickly whilst we're talking. I'll just do a little bit of my end. But VTuber TV crazy from these skeletons dying. I would like to think, like, before I invest in a model, I wanna see if I even like streaming to begin with. So yeah, okay, I'm also gonna just see if I can check a couple of things. Should fit now. Okay. Yeah, happy stream debut. Thank you, Twin. Also, a big shout out to Luna and Noodles, who are both my mods, both on my Discord server, which I'll talk about later, and my mods here in YouTube. So big shout out to the both of them for being here also while I'm debuting. So, as I kind of mentioned in the announcement that I put out, and also on like the title of the stream, I wanted to do like a sort of reintroduction of who I am, kind of talk about what I plan to do for the channel, as well as to kind of walk you guys through some stuff that I did for SEASPRAY, which was my recent upload. Yeah. So, oh, hello, Irix, hello. Yeah. Going to be VTuber debut. Holy shit. Yeah, I guess so. This is my PNG tuber debut. So, as I was saying, I'll be doing a quick reintroduction and kind of talking about why I wanted to start streaming also a little bit. And then we're going to go into some stuff that I do want to kind of get people's opinions on, or things I want to do for the future on stream. And then potentially also, well, not potentially, I will be showing you guys some behind the scenes stuff from SEASPRAY, a lot of concepts, a lot of fun stuff that I do behind the scenes when it comes to producing my original stuff. And then I might answer a couple of questions, both from Mario as well as from the chat, if there are any. Is that how this works? I feel really awkward, guys. SEASPRAY is so good. Take streaming easy for now and it'll be fun. Thank you, Tree Tree! Hello! Guys, by the way, Tree is a really great clipper. Please go check out their work. They're so good, honestly. Yeah. Historical debut, but thank you for the donation! Oh my goodness. And thank you to everybody who's been donating so far. It really does mean a lot. Thank you. Okay. So, don't talk about you. Hey, I like to hype up people. I guess talking about streaming, I just wanted to also quickly shout out the people who made the assets that I'm using for the model, the quote-unquote model, the PNG that I'm using. It belongs to Hey. I commissioned this a couple of months ago because I wanted to be able to have like sort of something I could use for a lot of different things, and streaming was kind of one of them. So big shout out to them. They're someone I've worked with in the past. If you have seen my oh god, this is so long ago, my Deja Vu cover by Uki Violetta. They were the ones that did the art for that. They also did the art for my profile picture, which is from that same MV, so please give them a lot of love. This stream overlay is by Aoi, I believe. Yes, they were offering a free stream overlay, so a big shout out to them for allowing people to use it for free. And then the BGM, the very calm BGM, is from Rice, Big Rice Piano on Twitter. Please go check out all of the people who make these amazing, amazing assets for people who, like me, maybe aren't sure about streaming, but we do want to kind of have access to resources that'll kind of get us jump started with a decent setup. So big shout out to them. Please go and check out a lot of these people. And I always want to make it clear that always to give credit where credit is due, especially for people who allow others to use their assets for free. So please do check them out. And yeah, okay, with that, I will be going kind of into a bit of a self-introduction for those who are new to the channel. A lot of you, I know, a lot of people who are in chat right now have known me for a little bit, but I think we do also have some people who have joined from the recent year or so. So, hello, my name is Luna Lun. You can call me Luna with 2 U's, by the way. If you forget the 2 U's, I need to cut you down for that. Sorry. You can call me Luna or Lun, or whatever works for you, I guess. I am a singer-songwriter, novice, audio engineer, composer, and producer. I basically do most things audio. I've been doing covers on YouTube since 2020. So 2020, I started posting. Had a little bit of success. Very grateful for that. And I've been posting ever since. I'm quite active in like the Yutaite VTuber V-singer circles. Well, sort of active, but I've recently been trying to focus a lot more on producing original music. As you might have seen in the last year or two, I've put out four original songs. 4, now 5 actually, now that I think about it. 5, 6, 7, 8, dang, okay, Velociraptor, okay. I think I might need to revoke your moderator privileges soon. See, I might have a short run. I'm kidding, Newt's a great guy. For songs, thank you so much, thank you. Yeah, so, I've been teaching myself to do a lot of mixing and a lot of production for the last few years, and I'm really hoping to get to a point where I can mostly produce myself. I still enjoy working with a lot of people. But I do also want to get to a point where I can really kind of make as much of it as I can, because I really enjoy the process of creating and all that stuff. 2020 wasn't a real year, pick a different one. Oh, fair enough. 2020 didn't really exist. 2019 maybe. Hello, Kun! Hello! Oh my goodness, we have so many people in stream. I'm really happy. Yeah, okay. So, first off, one of the things that I did want to say out the back is thank you so much for the amazing, amazing support over the last year or so. For those who might not know, I wasn't like, my platform received quite a lot of growth towards the end of 2024 when I posted one of my originals on a whim, Another Reason Why. It's gotten to the point that when you search up Another Reason Why in the YouTube search bar, my name comes up, which is crazy. Also, hi CC! And hello to you too, Grass. Hello to all the people who are coming in. Yeah, so I posted Another Reason Why towards the end of 2024, and I guess YouTube algo liked it a lot because it started gaining a lot of traction. I went from 1.2 K subscribers to, I believe, about 3.2 to 3.3 in the span of like a couple of weeks. I think a little less than or over a month, which was insane. And the song itself also pretty much blew up. When I look at my YouTube statistics, it's like it blows the rest of my videos out of the water, which is really funny. But it really meant a lot to see a lot of people resonate with that song, and to also not even just like listen to it, but to even comment and like talk about what the song meant to them, and you know, their stories of like how they feel in regards to the song or how it relates to their real life. And that really made me happy, and was kind of also the reason why the reason why I decided I really wanted to give my YouTube a shot, like a proper shot. Thank you, twin. I see you, and you are so loved. I'm so blessed to have such an amazing group of people in my life who are supporting me. So I feel like more than ever, I really have to try even harder to do my best, not just for myself, but for them as well. Oh. Thank you. I'm so glad. Yeah. So with it, I believe it's sitting now at about like 77,000 on YouTube, which is crazy, and it's close to hitting 10,000 streams on Spotify, which is crazy to think about. So thank you all so much for streaming that song and for streaming my music in general. With that out of the way, I do also want to kind of go into why I'm deciding to stream, or like why is streaming kind of becoming, it's not going to become a big part of my content, but it is something I do want to try and dabble a bit more in. So I've always loved watching streams, and also like the idea of being on stream with people, especially like collaborative stuff and like hanging out and having fun, just seems really nice. I'm also, I guess, a yapper, so that sort of stuff seemed fun, but at the same time it wasn't something that I felt would be too, what's the term? It's not something I felt like I would do for a very long time. So now that I kind of have the resources, and I figured it would be a great way to kind of reach out to more people and to kind of also grow the channel a bit more beyond just making music, I thought, you know, why not? It'd be fun to give it a shot. We love yapping. Yeah, yappa. I do tend to yap quite a bit. So I hope I don't bore everybody. But yeah, so when it comes to streams in the future after this one, I can't guarantee they'll be super frequent or regular. I'm going to aim to try and stream once I kind of fix my schedule and everything, because I've been also doing like a lot of real life stuff and fixing schedules and routines and all that. Once that kind of settles down a bit, I'm gonna try to aim to stream maybe twice per month. So probably not counting, of course, August, but I'm gonna try to aim for at least maybe 1 to 2 streams per month if I feel like it, but they're gonna be very guerrilla, like very out of nowhere. I'll try to like let people know like, hey, I'm gonna be probably streaming around this time or this date, just to kind of give y'all some heads up. But for the most part, don't expect this thing to be like a regular thing, because I also do want to mainly focus a lot more of my time into making music. When it comes to original stuff that's in the works, there's quite a few. I can't really talk too much about what's being worked on, but there's quite a number of things. Hello, Ame, I see you. Streamer era real? Yeah, it's kind of real now. Yeah, so there's quite a number of originals kind of in the works. A couple of them are collaborations with people. A couple of them are for my own content. One of my goals, hopefully, and this is actually a stream idea I had where I wanted to kind of do like a year-end review of like the channel and like things that I got to do. Probably, but that's gonna be later in the months, so we'll have to see how much I end up doing in the next for the next quarter of the year. But that's one of the things I wanted to do, was to do a year-end review and see kind of like where we want to go from there. But definitely aim is to have maybe 1 or 2 more originals out by the end of this year. Definitely want to have something for the end of the year, so please do look out for that. I do also want to release more covers and like get into the habit or the routine of recording and posting more covers, maybe a cover or 2 a month. if possible. But again, I'm kind of in a point in my life where I'm kind of just trying to do a little bit of everything, and I just want to keep my doors open but have fun. So yeah, don't mind me. I'll just sip on my Kelpis. I love Kelpis, guys. I remember the first time I tried Kelpis in Japan when I was like, God, 10? I think I was 10 or 11, and I was like, it tastes like milk, but it's not milk. And I was obsessed with Kelpis ever since. And it took me so long to find it where I live right now, but God, I found it in the supermarket and I was like, oh, I wanna have some. And I'm currently having the leftovers from when I was drinking over this weekend. Oh, yeah, Kelpis good. What are everybody's favorite non-alcoholic, non-water drinks? Kelpis? I think Cece spelled it above pretty well. How Kelpis, C-A-L-P-I-S. Not double S though. Not piss as in like pee piss, but you know. Unfortunately, a boba addict? Nah, that's fair. What's your favorite boba flavor? Then not piss. I'll look for the LBRB if I can. Oh, good, jump in. Take care. I'm really excited. Ice Chalky, hell yeah, twin. Love me a good ice Chalky. An iced Milo? Or an iced Ovaltine? Fire. Coffee. Oh, I do love coffee. Recently, like, part of my morning routine has been like, I do protein coffee. So I do like coffee, a scoop of like chocolate protein powder, and then just a little bit of milk just to make up enough of the liquid, and it's so good. Basic normal milk tea with pearls. Nah, I'm basic too, Vene. I see Milkus. Milkus is also good. I'm not sure if I'm a super big fan of like how carbonated Milkus can be. So that's kind of why I prefer Kelpis. I know Kelpis also does like a soda where it is like carbonated, but like, if I can, I prefer to grab normal Kelpis. Lemon soda because I'm sour af. Of course you would say that, Vince. Of course you would say that. So fucking sour, a little bit bitter, but he's spicy. Mogu Mogu! Oh my god. Wait, that's childhood right there. Mogu Mogu is childhood. I don't like any other boba types that I am also. Yeah, I feel like for most people, right, you either are like a normal boba tea person where it's like you like the milk tea or you like a fruit tea. I think there are some days that a fruit tea is a lot better than a milk tea. Vince eats lemons raw? Nah, well, actually, nah, I could see that. Vince does feel like the type of person to eat lemons raw. He's crazy like that. Absolutely. Yeah, I think recently I like a lot more fruit tea versus like milk tea. Sometimes it just gets so hot here, so humid, that like a fruit tea is just so much more refreshing. There's this one place near my house that does kind of has like a bunch of like fruit, like lemonades, like lemon teas, like very, very fancy lemon teas. It's so good. How are you with sour things? I don't actively seek sour things, but I do like citrus. I like lemon. I like grapefruit. I like orange, of course. I've not really tried blood orange. I don't know if there's like a massive difference between a blood orange and an orange. I would love to try one day. I don't like sour candy. I think that's one that probably tells you a bit. The most sour I could do, and I don't think this is even that sour, to be honest. It's like do you know like those little like candy coated sour like balls, like nerds? Do you know that they come in like a little like paper packaging, and it comes in different flavors as well. Or like sometimes you'll find like a really big container and it has 2 flavors in it of nerds. That was about as sour as I can get. That's about as sour as I can get. I don't really like Sour Patch Kids. Not a big fan. I think it's just like, it's the point where sour gets uncomfortable. It's kind of the same with spicy, but I'm working on my spice tolerance. Genuinely working on my spice tolerance because I really want to be able to eat more spicy food. I think spicy food can actually be really good if they don't just focus on spice. That's why I like, what is it? Laoganma. Like, the first thing that I feel like was getting me into spicy was Laoganma. I know Laoganma is also not even really that spicy, but it's so good. I love, like, using it for, like, dipping sauce for, like, hot pot. Or, like, you know, like, when you dip the, like, you're having, like, thinly sliced pork or beef, and then you dip in the hot pot, and then you dip in, like, a sauce of, like, Laoganma, soy sauce, scallion. Ah, so good. So good. What's your favorite food? Ooh. I don't really have a particular favorite food, I guess. Like, it always just depends. If I had to pick one, I think I'll cheat and say like a category of food. I really like noodles, not pasta per se. I think some forms of pasta can fall like close to noodle territory, but not quite. I prefer noodles though, pasta. Oh, sorry, I won't be answering any questions about, you know, where I come from or my nationality. Please refrain from asking questions like that in the future. So don't worry about it. But yeah. I want hot pot so bad. I love hot pot, bro. I love hot pot. Hot pot, grilling, like yakiniku or like Korean barbecue. It's also really good. But I feel like it's always like awkward to kind of go. There's no what do you call it? It's hard to go to like KBBQ or yakiniku by yourself. So like, it's hard to like want to go there by myself, even though I really just want to eat grilled meat. What's your oh, interesting question. What's your favorite amongst your songs? Oh, that's hard. Okay. Favorite among my songs. That's hard. Ooh. I think here's the thing, right? With most of the songs that I've put out, if not all of the original stuff I've put out, they're all like kind of like they were a cut above the rest, if that makes sense. I've written quite a lot like over the last couple of years, and they're all just kind of sitting in like this one Google Doc that I have. And I sometimes review that Google Doc to see like, is there anything like of genuine good value on this doc? And if there is, like, then I'll put it out. But like, if there's none, I'll keep writing. I have some songs that I really, really, really like. I wouldn't consider them favorite, but they're up there. I would, that I haven't put out yet, but I do want to put out in the future. I guess if that answers. But if I had to really say recency bias, then SEASPRAY. Yeah, I think it's my favorite that I've worked on, probably. We wish this was Japan where there's solo yakinikus. God, solo yakiniku! The things I would give for solo yakiniku right now. Oh! Okay, I think I've yapped enough. It's been like 30 minutes. It's time to shift over because, well, I'm a big dork. I made a slideshow for stuff for SEASPRAY. So give me 1 second. We're gonna transfer over. Woo! This is why I needed to do this, right? Let me fix this again. I'm gonna have to make 2 in the future. There we go. Now we can put that there. And this. Yay! Okay, so I went a little crazy and I ended up making a little PowerPoint to show off all of the crazy stuff that I did for SEASPRAY, because honestly, when it came to all of the creative choices and direction, it kind of sorry, let me rephrase that. It kind of like came together really quickly, and I'm gonna talk a lot about my own just creative process when it comes to working on my projects. This kind of counts for, say, like if you've seen my birthday cover, Lilac, where I had 30 people on that, and it was a whole like storyboarded MV. Same with things like Ghost of Night, where it's like, you know, it's very deliberate planning of everything. I think in comparison to those projects though, SEASPRAY took the shortest, surprisingly, because I think I already had a bit of a clear plan in my head, but I think it's always fun to kind of look behind the scenes and like think about all the choices that I ended up making down the line. So yeah, I put this little slideshow together because I wanted to be able to compile everything well. So let's go! So early inspo. So a lot of early Yorushka. If it's no surprise, or if it's a surprise to you, I'm a big Yorushka fan. Like especially early era, like we're talking like Kutsu no Hanabi era, like Kutsu no Hanabi Itte, Katleya. Talking about like also like, oh god, Elma, like that album. That's why I gave up on music. That era. So I really love how Nabuna, the producer for Yorushka, uses acoustic guitar. The way he mixes his acoustic guitars, and also the kinds of patterns that he uses with his acoustic guitars. A lot of inspo from that. Actually, the song was written quite a bit ago. I think I wrote this in like 2021, 2022. I'd like to remember, because it was related to this one OPM song, Urgent Pinoy Music, by the way, one Filipino song that I remembered. I don't think it exists anymore, because I think the band took it down. I don't even remember the band. I just remembered listening to it, and I was like, this sounds so nice. I like this chord progression, and I think I sort of took that took and adjusted the progression a little bit to make it fit what I was going for. And okay, I think my thingy is blocking a little of the smaller. Oh, you're gonna see me shrink in real time. Okay, there you go. I love this, also the idea of mixing like ambient water noise, so kind of extended into a bit of like an ocean sort of idea. I love it when artists use like she has no legs. Yeah, no legs. My bad, guys. I was told to break my legs before stream, and I think I followed through on that. My bad.
I don't know how I'm gonna get out of here, but don't worry about it.
Yeah. So going back, I really love it when artists use like very natural, like atmospheric elements. Navin is a great example. I think Porter Robbins is also a great example of like how they incorporate like a lot of Foley or like SFX type stuff into their work. So yeah, I love that. So that kind of inspired where I wanted to do. And now some composition tidbits. So this is some stuff that came about through the very long process in general of working on this. Sorry guys, I took our legs away. Yeah, Cece stole my legs, guys. My bad. I think like if I'm gonna be able to walk again, I'm gonna need to go and grab them from them. Taking a look inside my brain. Yes sir. So the first song in its first iteration did not have a bridge. It went straight into the last chorus. Because when I wrote it, it was already pretty long. But those who know me know that I already write very, very, very long songs. But I think SEASPRAY takes the cake. Nearly takes the cake for the longest. I think the longest still is Home Reaching the Stars. By the way, Takaradachi chord, shout out, my bad. But yeah, the first iteration didn't have the bridge. The tides rise and fall, Was I the only one who made sense of you at all? That part did not exist. But I ended up writing it because I didn't like the transition from like emptiness to like the final chorus. So I ended up writing that, and I quite like what I ended up coming up with because it's very short, but it's very effective. Fun fact number 2: the last chorus went through the most changes, especially when we were mid-production. So, fun fact, another kind of bonus fun fact in relation to why I put this. I'm not the type that rewrites a lot of my lyrics. Like, when I write, I like keep writing the line until I like it, and then when I like it, I will keep it and not change it. But SEASPRAY was one of the few instances where like I really felt like I could do something better, especially that since the song was a bit on the older end in terms of like where I was when I wrote this. So I decided to redo the final chorus. So the structure of that, mainly what I changed was the structure. So I ended up repeating that one section, the "from days of you and I'll never find another," and then I changed up the lyrics so that it kind of mirrors it, but you know, changes a bit of the intention and then kind of leads into a better build-up, which I ended up really liking, especially for what I ended up doing for the end, which was the stay, 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 stay. Like that part, I really, really liked that one. I think it was worth it to change that. So yeah. And then the last one. Lots of intention and genuine elation and putting a lot of layers, vocal layers to convey like echoes of memories. I am such a big fan of call and response ad-libs. I love so many ad-libs. Sometimes maybe if I think about it, maybe I add too many ad-libs, but honestly, I don't care. I think it just makes it, like it just knowing that it's there, just knowing that they're there, and like I can sense them in my headphones. Absolute like genuine joy for me to know. And I think it also like contributed a lot to the sort of approach that I was going for. This be a rare occasion to go back and rewrite lyrics. Yeah, this is a rare occasion, honestly. For context, with songs, for example, like Another Reason Why, or Another Reason Why, Ghost of Night, and Home Reaching the Stars, those 3, I wrote them so long ago, but if I'm to be honest, none of the lyrics from those changed. I did not change any of them because I genuinely was like, I was happy with how they turned out, and I felt like it's sometimes that thing of like when you write it, you like it, but you're still kind of like unsure, and then enough time passes to where when you reread it, you're like, no, this is exactly how it needs to be. I'm very much a big believer of like the way when I write something and I come back to it, it reflects such a specific part or specific point in my life that I'm like, I feel like if I change it, it's going to kind of, I wouldn't say it threatens the integrity of the song, but I feel like it kind of doesn't it won't embody the same kind of mindset that I was in when I was writing it. I feel like a lot of the time when I read back my lyrics, I actually like it, but I have a different idea of how I want to go about expressing it. Like intention and meaning change a lot. So with SEASPRAY having to rewrite it, it was genuinely like I think I was really uninspired when I made that section, and I think I could do better now. So that was kind of the part where like I could use it as a chance to show off what I... Yeah. Wow. Yappa. So these were some of the inspiration and reference tracks that I put in like a little playlist that I shared with Kizmet, the one who was working on the instrumental with me. So again, Yorushka, love Eat the Wind. This genre or this style of Yorushka is one of my favorites, where they use a lot of like very natural elements, but they do a lot with the production where they, you know, they cut it, they process it super heavily, but then they keep some elements really dry. It feels like very worn in, I guess, is the feeling. And that's really what I wanted to convey with SEASPRAY. I wanted that worn in, lived in kind of feeling. Second one was Landunoid by Cecil. This one in particular was more for like the theming and like the kind of video that I wanted, but I think when I listened back to the instrumental, like the clean guitar and like the way that they work in like the percussion and all that, Cecil is also one of those people that like I just look up to so bad, because they do a lot of their own production and mixing, and I'm just like, God, I need to get to your level. God, I need to get to your level. Ugh. Yeah, highly recommend Lanternoid and Cecil stuff in general. Amazing singer. Third one is Instant Date by Haruno. A lot of early Haruno, I think, inspired SEASPRAY. I kind of wanted to go a bit for like that lo-fi-ish feel. Not necessarily like to make it directly lo-fi, but to use elements of lo-fi, so a bit of like the worn out like sounds, like radio type of very warm sounding mix. Originally I wanted to kind of have like a kick from Instant Date, where it's like that very classic low and thick kick that you hear often in lo-fi, like the very slow dum dak dum dak dum dak, like just kind of like a slow like heartbeat type of driving beat. But we didn't end up using it because it wasn't really good. But I think in terms of processing, big inspo. And then lastly, you're gonna see this name come up quite a bit. Spleen Pop by Pretty Patterns and Valley.exe. Probably my favorite Pretty Patterns track ever. Not even like for all reasons. The song is amazing. The lyrics are amazing. Valley's vocals, chef's kiss as always. The video is also like a very big inspo for SEASPRAY, and I'll kind of go into that later. Oh, hello Nixie, thank you for coming into stream, and thank you to everybody who's been joining. I checked the amount earlier. We're at like 25 people. Holy yeah, thank you all for coming and for watching me yap. We're currently yapping a bit about SEASPRAY and sort of the creative process behind it. So yeah, these were some of the tracks that I put as inspo for Kizmet when we were working on it, which brings me to this. So I compiled together a couple of little demos from the process. I got Kizmet's permission to use these, so big shout out to him for not only helping me on this track, but for also allowing me to show off some of these. So the first one here, we'll only go through like a little bit of these because some of them are quite long because they're the full length of the song. But yeah, so we'll start with this one. Let me know, by the way, if the audio isn't working. But this was like a very early demo where this isn't the final guitars that we used, but it was just a good practice. Didn't know there's a Discord server. I'll talk about the Discord later. I'll answer more questions. Play this for you. See, this is her. Hopefully people can hear the.
Waves are crashing underneath my feet. Whale song is echoing around me. The sun is beating down on yet another ray of light. I'm mesmerized by your eyes. So won't you tell me another summer story, sweeping me off my feet with all the memories I didn't wanna leave. So won't you tell me all your favorite secrets, darling? I promise to keep them safe and sound inside the chest beneath my heart. Sea spray and sunny days, windows and open souls. I know it's all a dream. I know it's all a dream. Feet pressed into the sand, tears shed behind your back. I know I'll never see your face again. No, I'll never know sea spray again.
Yes, that was very early demo actually. For context, I think I came to Kizmet with this song in like late June, early July. We finished the instrumental, I think, by the third week to the last week of July. We did it so fast because there was so much that we were doing. Second one to show really quickly. I'm gonna probably like skim through this one a bit more because this is a fuller length demo, but this is one of the first songs where I actually had a bit more of a hand in production. So to answer, I believe it was Venti's question, what instruments do I play? I mainly play guitar, acoustic guitar, a bass guitar, a little bit of piano. I also play ukulele, but sometimes I'm like a bit hesitant to consider ukulele as like a qualification, but you know, all instruments are relatively equal in my book. So, but mostly acoustic guitar. So all of the guitars that you hear in the song and like the sort of banjo-y thingy, which is actually a combo of acoustic guitar and ukulele being layered over together, those were all recorded by me. Which is a little bit hard to do. I'm not used to like recording with a metronome. It's one of my my biggest pet peeves, I think, to some musicians, that like I really struggle to record to a click. It just, the feel of it just doesn't feel good. I know it's important, especially for like when it comes to making sure that it's easy to line everything up, but just, I get so fucking like, oh, it's hard. So all those guitars I recorded, and then I also experimented for the first time with learning to sample. A lot of the samples that were used in this, like the pads and the like one-shot samples that were used in the song, were either native to Logic Pro, which is one of the softwares that I use, or were given to me by Jobin, or XH Does Music, who is in chat. Big shout out to him, by the way, for helping me with the early prod on that. He was guiding me through a lot of like, you know, how to use things, especially like how to achieve certain effects and like, you know, ways to cut things up, but also just being my hype man in general when it came to this song. That's kind of why he's in the special thanks credits of the official MV. So please go check out his music. He is such a talented person, such a talented creator. May or may also not be doing something soon. Doing a lot of projects, honestly, so we'll see. So this is the slightly more polished, or like has more stuff on it, version, if it'll load. Yeah, so this is the more official guitar, and it's been mixed a little bit, I believe, because I took a demo that Kizmet had made, and then I added some stuff over it.
The waves are crashing on you. So won't you tell me another summer story, sweeping me off my feet with all
is. Let me just skim a little. I think you'll hear.
To that place, to those waves, to that gaze, warm embrace. To that place, to those waves, to that gaze, warm embrace. To that place, to those waves, to that gaze.
I think this is just mostly the pads, yeah. I think some of the sampling wasn't quite in this one. That's okay. Okay. Third one that I want to share is a little random thing that Kizmet kind of sent me. It wasn't meant to originally be in the song, but we ended up liking the drums so much that we did kind of include them in a different section. But this was the sample that he gave me. Really fun.
Felt that spark.
For the rest of the little one shots. Yeah. Oh, these drums are so good. Such a switch up, but I genuinely love switch ups like this. It changed the feeling a little bit, which I really liked for this. But in the process of making this, I was doubling the sound. Holy. Let me see if I do this. That works. Is that better? Didn't realize I was doubling my bed. Yep. That's the. Nope. Thanks. Thank you for that, Kizmet. I didn't realize we were doubling. My bad. Okay, but yeah, those drums actually, we ended up moving them from the bridge section, that bridge section, to the end. So you know the part that goes, what is it? A lifetime long ago, we'll never know another one. That one, and then you can kind of hear the drums kind of kick in there. Like that was where they originally were placed, because we found out like the instrumental section kind of felt better with just like softer percussion, and then we kind of used the drums as like a more emotional ending for the song. Yeah. Okay. Last one, we have the final instrumental track, which you guys have listened to in the official song, but I figured I would play a little bit of it. Is I do really like listening to the prod on this. It's just, it makes me so happy to listen to. All the instrumentals are so crispy. Yeah, very bright, very sparkly. I like it, but it still feels very warm. I like instrumentals that feel like quite warm. I think it also applies to my mixes, to be honest. So I do tend to run a little warm in my mixes. But I think Kizmet did a fantastic job like balancing out all of the tracks that ended up being since he's in the chat. Actually, Kizmet, do you know how many tracks we had total for the final? Because I know I sent you like quite a number, like just from the guitars. I think I sent you at least 12, and then I sent you another 15, I think, from like all the one shots, all of the samples and stuff. If you have a number, please let the chat know, because I know this shit was thick. Almost 50 tracks on my end. Yeah, I'm not surprised, dear God. Okay. I didn't realize also my BGM was still going on for all that. My bad. That was... yeah, I think I'm still getting used to remembering to keep everything going. But thank you all for having fun despite the scuff. Okay, next one. Okay, so since Kizmet mentioned 50 tracks on his end, this is what my project looked like when I was recording and vocal editing for SEASPRAY. Technically this isn't the technically this isn't the full project because right below this was like all of my scratch vocals. Was all of my scratch vocals because the way that I tend to do my stuff, because personally I'm not the most like pitch perfect. Like I have a pretty bad sense of like my, especially for like if I want to do a funkier harmony, yeah, I end up just doing them all like first as like a rough test, and then for the people who are experienced with mixing, you might know this, but for those who aren't, I use a program called Melodyne to basically tune and time my vocals. So what I would do is I would roughly record all of the layers that I wanted. I would hard tune them, meaning I would just snap them to the grid, and I would turn down the modulation to like 50% so that I would basically sound like a Vocaloid or like a VSync, and I would use that as a guide for myself when I'm recording the actual one, so that when I'm editing myself in the final version, I'm not as I'm not as off pitch, and I'm ensuring that like I will be pretty easy to tune down the line. That's kind of like what I do for myself, especially when it comes to like vocal arrangement heavy songs like this. So as you can see, I kind of mentioned it here, but I don't think it's seen. Total of 30-ish tracks was about 1.6 GB of WAV files, which is a lot. Yeah. So counting the 50 or so that the near 50 on Kizmet's end, we probably came out with about like 80 something tracks for SEASPRAY, which is a lot if I think about it, but I really would not have it any other way. Kizmet was so fun to work with, very enabling with making this sound amazing. So I will lower my BGM for this because I did want to play the acapella, because god, this is probably the most insane I've gone when it comes to my own vocals. Carefully. We ensure. Cool.
Whale song is echoing
Oh. Oh. I hate it when
around me. The sun is beating down on yet another ray of light. I'm mesmerized by your eyes.
twin. A lot of the delay. This is not like the fuller. I have to go like kind of farther in. It's about here where it like really gets kind of crazy. I'll blow everybody's ears out.
To that,
Oh, wait.
to those
Ah!
waves, to that place, your warm embrace, to that place, to those waves, to that place, your empty face, to that place, to those waves, to that place. place I can never name. You left a hole inside of me. Far gone, forgotten shores. Were you after something more from days of you and I? I'll never find another lifetime long ago. We'll never know another one. From days within your eyes, I'll never find another lifetime of your lies. You know I cried forever. From days where all I wanted was for you to stay. Just stay, stay, stay. Stay, stay, stay. 'Cause I know I'll never see your face again. 'Cause I'll never know of SEASPRAY.
Yeah.
Again.
Yahoo! I love. This is probably the most fun and the most difficult arrangement I've made in my life. So yeah, I'm really glad that I managed to do it. I think I wouldn't have been able to pull off something like this like maybe 2 years ago. So the fact I was able to do it, what is it? It makes me really, really happy, and I'm glad that it contributed really well to the song. So now I'm gonna go a bit into kind of some nerdier stuff about like how I worked on this and what I use, because I think it's also fun. It's also good for me to kind of talk a bit about what kind of equipment I use. So for the most part, I use Reaper nowadays because I'm now on PC. So I use Reaper primarily to record my vocals and to edit them with Melodyne. I am learning to at least start learning to mix in Reaper because my PC is I'm very grateful to have a very beefy PC. So if I can like basically overhaul most of my mix work to my PC, that would be great. But the bulk of this project was made initially in Logic Pro X, which has been my DAW for the last 3 years. So a lot of the production, the recording of the guitars, and the vocal mixing was all done. Mixing and mastering was all done in Logic Pro, which I love. I started from GarageBand, by the way. So I was a GarageBand kid, and then I moved into Logic Pro once I felt a bit more comfortable with GarageBand, and I had the money to buy. So yeah, let me also realize I turn up my BGM. Forgot about that. Yeah. Okay, so there's that. These I would highly recommend if you are starting out to record, or if you want to do any sort of vocal work. You can get Reaper. Reaper technically has a quote-unquote free trial, like indefinite free trial that you can try out and use. Though to be honest, the personal license doesn't cost a lot. I think it's about 50-60 USD. So, and given like all the things that Reaper can do in the long run, and I think it's a really good investment. But honestly, just use what you have available to you. If it's BandLab, it's BandLab. If it's Audacity, it's Audacity. If it's whatever, it's whatever. Like, I started out just like kind of diddling along in BandLab, then I moved to GarageBand, and now I use both Reaper and Logic Pro. Reaper stream sponsor when? God, I don't think I make enough Reaper content to be sponsored, but maybe in the future. But yeah, this is your PSA to just use whatever you have. You can do it. I believe in you. And then the next one, these are the stuff that I currently use hardware-wise. So what I'm actually using right now to talk into is my Rode NT1, which is a studio condenser microphone. Admittedly, my room is not very well treated, but That's largely due to like physical constraints. I can't really treat my room too much just from my setup, the setup of my room. But I found that at least it doesn't pick up too many of my room reflections or like, you know, any echoes in my room. It doesn't pick up too much of that, so I haven't had too big of an issue. My mixed headphones are the Shure SRH 8040A, which I use both for recording and for mixing. Fun story about these headphones, actually. I did not purchase this, actually. I won it as a prize for a singing competition I did in university, which is really funny. There was the grand prize that came along with the trophy, and it was actually perfect timing because my previous headphones, which were just a pair of like fairly cheap Sony headphones that I was using, were dying, as in the ear cuffs were already, the ear muffs were already falling out, and it was very tattered and gross. So this came at a good time. Honestly, these headphones are still serving me really well. It's been a couple of years and they're very good to use. I would recommend. And then the last one is my audio interface, which is the Audient ID4 Mark II. Cannot stress enough, this shit makes me sound amazing. This is so worth it, honestly. W interface. This is coming from somebody who still fell into the trap of buying a Scarlett. So I had a Scarlett before my ID4, and I think like at the time it was still good because I was using a dynamic microphone at the time, which the Scarlett still served me well. But truth be told, once I upgraded to the Audient, I have not been the same. It's such a good interface. If you are a musician and you're looking for a very good, clear, transparent interface, would highly recommend the ID4 Mark II. Such a good investment, honestly. And shout out to like a bunch of people who I know from the Utaite community and the Mixer community for putting me on this, because it's so good. So good. Oh yeah, here a little bit of some mix notes that I have from when I worked on SEASPRAY, and you kind of heard it in the, actually this might have been a better place to put the acapella, but essentially these were kind of the stuff that I had in mind when I was working on SEASPRAY, when I was mixing it. So the big thing, and the reason why I actually recorded quite a lot of layers, was this idea of like, I like to treat vocals as instruments, particularly like backing vocals, like harmonies, ad-libs, like long ad-libs versus more staccato ad-libs. I really love kind of treating them like additional pads to add texture. So a lot of the long things in the back were kind of mixed in a way that they're a bit clearer, but they're still farther back in the mix, so they kind of meld with everything a lot better. So it kind of feels like it's part of the kind of scenic atmosphere. Another thing was, you might have heard in the acapella, there was a lot of like distortion, bit crushing, and delay, because I wanted to play with this idea of it, kind of the third point, which is like coming out of an old radio. This idea where it's like, you know, a waterlogged like radio, where it's like, it's staticky, it keeps like chopping and cutting up, it repeats stuff because it's not able to process everything correctly. Kind of wanted it to feel like it was something like worn with time and with like the elements. So the bit crushing delay kind of plays a big role. So like a lot of the delay of the again, or like some of the little echoes that happen on like some of the backing vocals, I wanted it to feel very like it was moving, but it still felt like very static in place, because it felt like everything's moving or not moving, kind of just stuck in this one spot when you're listening, which I hope came across well. Last major note is that in the grand scheme of things, when it came to mixing my vocals, I think I still went for a largely like a minimal processing approach, because I'm the kind of person where I feel a bit weirded out when I process myself too much. I think one thing that I really like about the kind of music I get to make is it's very naturalistic. It feels very intimate. I've had a lot of people tell me that the way I sing can be quite raw, and I do like that quality about the music that I make, so I try not to over process myself. maybe for like certain parts to give like character, so like a little bit of the bit crushing on the mains to make it sound like it was coming out of a radio, and also making it feel like it's like a bit distant or like a bit kind of like otherworldly, I guess, without it, but still kind of maintaining this characteristic of being very human, very natural sounding, I think was sort of what I was going for. Yeah, that covers pretty much all of the audio stuff. Wow, I have to quite a bit, but hope everybody's doing well. I probably won't make the stream any longer than 2 hours, to be honest, because I want to be able to pace myself a little bit. But okay, the next part, and I think this is the part a lot of people are going to have a fun time with, is the visuals. So I started doing this a lot more, especially when I started doing a lot of very storyboard heavy projects. So thinking like Ghost of Night, Lilac, some other projects that I've been on that aren't necessarily on my channel, but I did have a hand directing. And I cannot stress enough the importance of being able to visually conceptualize and storyboard like a little bit some of your work is so important. It makes the life of your visual staff so much easier. I used to think that, you know, giving people a lot of freedom when it comes to like creative freedom when it comes to commissions is a good thing. And then I talked to a lot more artists and I found out this isn't actually always the case, especially when it comes to stuff like this. You kind of want a bit of a clearer direction, and like, you know, if you can be more specific, it actually makes it a lot easier for them to do their job while still having some level of room to experiment, because you kind of can interpret the brief a little bit differently. So I actually linked it here. It's gonna link another set of slides which I made. It's a very rough slideshow of like a bunch of things I wrote. So it looks in here. We have some feelings that I kind of wanted to convey. Nostalgia, kind of this melancholic feeling, still dreamy and soft. And then what I did was, and I've done this for a couple other projects already, is I would go through, haha, see, I told you the song was gonna come back. I would link a bunch of videos that I thought really matched the style that I would be going for. For example, when it came to Spleen Pop, I really love the colors and the editing and the use of like real life footage with a doodle. Like this was like a big inspo for me when it came to like what I wanted from the video. So I took screenshots of stuff that I liked, and then I also kind of made additional notes of like little things that I wanted the artist to look at. So sort of a scrapbook style. Also referenced Pose by Natori. I really liked the 2-part animation for the sprites, and also like the layering of the sprites, which ultimately led me to more of like a line art only sprite animation. Oh, another reference, by the way, that I think I didn't mention is freaking Harumaki Gohan. Harumaki Gohan, this song, I discovered this song on a whim, actually. And I watched the MV and I was like, this is so perfect. By the way, amazing song, would recommend this. But the visual imagery of like the girl being drawn over time, like through the animation, is so pretty. And then more Yoroshika. Parade was another big reference for the video. I love especially like early Yoroshika videos where it's like, you know, a lot of IRL footage, but then the character in question is like a kind of animated, like fictional character. So you're kind of setting like this man-made thing in a quote-unquote natural world, which I think is super cool. And then I also did a bunch of pose idea references, so I collected these a lot from Pinterest just to kind of give ideas for what we could do for the sprite. And I don't normally do this, but I was really feeling inspired, so I actually did kind of go digging for commercial-free and also nice fonts that I felt like fit the vibe. Jinx, the editor, ultimately I think went for this one and this one for the title, and then for the subtitles I believe she went with this one. But I collated a bunch of fonts, and I feel like, you know, this kind of stuff is really fun to think about, because it's like you kind of get to imbue a lot more intention into the choices, but you're also still kind of giving the people you're working with a lot of freedom on how they want to interpret what you want to convey. And I think that's always the fun part of working with people, is that like you kind of get to work a little bit of their own magic into what you're making. So especially when it comes to visuals now, I'm very particular with my workflow and how much I like to prepare beforehand before I approach someone. But yeah. So by the way, I don't know if they're still in chat, but a big shout out to Kuneho for the amazing sprite animation. They sent me so many concepts when we were working on this. So this was one of, and they also allowed me to share these concepts on stream. So basically, took a bunch of the stuff that I said, and they found a bunch of brushes to experiment with, and experimented a lot with the style. Yeah, they're here. Hello, Kun! Everyone, please go check out their work. Their work is amazing. Please go commission them if you can. You might also know them because they worked on Lilac, my birthday cover project, which was the first project they ever did with me, and the biggest, which I do still apologize for the amount of stuff I made you draw, but it was so worth. But like, you did so amazing, and I really felt like they could really make this like project so good. Like, I really love their art style, and I felt it would be such a good fit for SEASPRAY. And just the amount of detail you can even see on these concepts, like the amount of effort they put into trying out different stuff and like to show off the general style. I think when it came to this set of concepts, we ended up going with the Rakugaki pen, which is the bottom one here, and then the Staindler felt tip pen. And so we can see here a lot more concepting, so kind of figuring out like the style of it, of how we wanted everything to go, and sort of experimenting with the flow of the lines. I love the way that they kind of make some of the lines like one stroke, or like some of the shapes like one stroke only, and very flowing but still very detached. So good. Oh, thank you for putting Kun's Twitter in the description. Yeah, so good. Please do check them out. I love their art so bad. So bad. Love this. And then the last bit of concepts. This was one of the poses that we initially wanted, but we ultimately, I believe, ended up going with this one. And you might recognize this one right here. You might recognize this one right here. But this is what I ended up using for the album art, because I saw this concepting, and I was like, God, this goes so hard, and it works so well for what I want to convey. So I asked Kun when they were still drafting everything, can I have this one as like a separate PNG that I can use so I can make the album art? I can make the album cover for SEASPRAY. So that's where this comes from. So big shout out to them. The extra little contribution. And here we have the final animations. So these are all the gifts that were used. The separate frames were given to the editor, but this is what how they all look together. And God, you see this work, guys? Like, it's so smooth and so pretty. Like, the broken line art just gives it such a beautifully sketchy feel, which I really wanted to have for the final video. Absolute cookery, a feast, if you will. An absolute feast. Thank you so much, Kun, for your work. It was so fun to work with you again for SEASPRAY, and I really hope I can continue working with you in future projects potentially. Smiles, rubs hands. I keep joking to Kun. I'm like, I'll tip them an additional bit of money for the commission. Like, I'd be like, go and treat yourself. Go get yourself a snack or something after you're done with your stuff. Like, please, you deserve so much of this. You're so busy, and yet you still managed to take time for my com. I really appreciate it so much. It was such an honor to work with you. But yeah, please go check out their work. It's so beautiful. And then we're getting to the end. We have a couple more slides left. Written storyboard. So this is something that I learned actually from Europa U, or Soft Mode, who is a very talented artist and basically avatar of all things like creative. yeah, I learned how to do my my written storyboards from him. So I started adopting this, and it's super helpful, especially as someone who can't really draw, but can describe in an insane amount of detail. So, what I typically do now is I do like a general plot storyline, like right here. I'll link the assets if it's just like I haven't given them yet. And then what I do is I do the timestamp, like about when in the audio, the cue, and then what I genuinely want to happen. I try to keep it a lot more specific, especially like it's better, I think, when you say directly what you want to happen in the MV, rather than being like, oh, I want it to convey this, I want it to convey that. Like going for a more objective approach and then kind of figuring out like the intentions and additional tidbits tends to be a bit easier after you kind of nailed down exactly what you want to happen and the flow of everything. Yeah, for those who are like, why does this video hurt so bad? I'm to blame, unfortunately, because I storyboarded everything. I also storyboarded my Lilac. If you got to watch that, I know I reference Lilac a lot, but it's another big example of like what I think about, like how I want the video to flow, and I think about like story and the way that certain elements want to like link together with, especially between the visuals and the audio. I'm very big on like I want them to feel like a whole package. Yeah, I gotta get the maximum feels. How absolutely nails it on the head. You gotta get the maximum feels. So I do try to like be very intentional with like what I want to show and how it relates to the lyrics that are being sang, or like maybe the audio in general. So yeah, so here were some composition tests. These were by Jinx. I will grab their Twitter super quickly, actually. Give me 1 second. Please go check out their stuff. They have an amazing duo called Nocturne, and they actually do like a lot of art as well as a lot of videos, so please go check them out. They're super amazing. But yeah, so a lot of these screenshots were from them, and I even got a couple of video samples. So these were some of the things that they sent me when we were working on it.
SEASPRAY.
Yeah, so like this was just showing off like the little static here, the man-made static that they did in After Effects. By the way, to all motion graphics and video editors out there, you are so strong. You are so strong for having to use things like After Effects. Like, Godspeed. Holy hell. Yeah, respect. And then this one as well.
No one ever knows SEASPRAY again.
That wasn't exactly like the most, I think I remembered I wanted it to kind of close completely and then hard cut to the again. So that was like a sample before that change. Yeah, no, Jinx is an amazing editor. They were super easy to work with, and they took this on so last minute, because originally I was gonna try to do the MV myself, but then I was like, oh, just trying to get the footage to look good, because I did all the color grading on the footage. Some of the footage was actually mine, but some of it was stock footage that I found commercial use, that I just put the same sort of color grading on to make it all feel like the same sort of faded but still very worn in kind of look. I'm pretty proud actually of the color grading in this. It doesn't look too bad, but Jinx definitely did a lot as well to kind of up it with like all the texture and all the additional stuff, so big shout out to them. And with that, my slideshow was finished. Please stream SEASPRAY. It just came out on streaming platforms, so please stream it lots. It would mean the world to me. It is also currently available on BANDCAMP. There is the normal version, which comes with the official track, the acapella, and the instrumental. And then there's also the quote-unquote Forgotten Tides version, which comes with the high tide, low tide version, which is basically nightcore and then a slowed down plus reverb version. Big shout out to twin Luna Senna for the idea to do the high tide, low tide version. So she was the one that was like kind of saying, I need SEASPRAY nightcore, and you did end up getting SEASPRAY nightcore, so you can thank her for that. Yeah. Wow, it's been an hour and a half already. Dear God, I've been yapping. Yeah. I'm gonna move back here. Yay! I probably won't go for too much longer, because to be honest, I'm not used to yapping this much. I need that slow down reverb version. Yeah. It's on the BANDCAMP. Oh, I also need to fix this again. Whoopsie. I need to make a separate one. A note for future to note for future. There we go. Yippee! Okay. I am going quickly. A couple. Heck, I did have a few Myros that I did want to add. The one question that I did want to read out at the moment was, is SEASPRAY a spiritual sequel to Another Reason Why, or am I going insane? I don't think that's, like, when I made it, I don't think SEASPRAY was intended to be a spiritual successor, but I guess if you look at the theming from SEASPRAY and Another Reason Why, I can kind of see how they overlap. Truth be told, a lot of the stuff that I make, while they're written from very different points in my life, I feel like the reason they kind of all feel very cohesive is that they all kind of follow the same sort of structure, and they also kind of use a lot of the same sort of imagery. Like, I use a lot of water imagery, I use a lot of like floating, spirity type of imagery, a lot of ghost imagery if you look at Ghost of Night as well. I think the way that I tend to write kind of reflects in that as well. So personally, I think it could be a spiritual successor, but I think I think Amma describes it best. They're cousins. A lot of the relations between my songs are like cousins. They're very closely related, but they're not like perfectly the same or cover the same sort of stuff. Yeah. The other questions are really silly, but I'll read them out. What is your favorite— oh, that's my alarm. My bad, guys. That was my bad, lol. Forgot to turn that off. What is your favorite part in Plants vs. Zombies? Favorite plant. Ooh. What is it? If I had to pick a plant in Plants vs. Zombies— this is funny because I was watching a friend play Plants vs. Zombies on the server the other day. Honestly, the cherry kind of goes hard just because it's just a big bomb. I don't know, bro. Some people like to ask the craziest questions, and I love it. Favorite plant in Plants vs. Zombies? Yeah, I think I have to give it to the cherry. The cherry or the sunflower. And then 1 hour ago, I think I know who sent me this question. Can you press the big red button? I don't know. Can I press the big red button? I don't think it's there. Write that down. Write that down. It's very good. It's very intentional, not coincidental. Do you plan to release an album at some point? Well, I do want to. I think I'd start with an EP. I think before I can write like an album, I technically do have enough songs to make an album, but I think I'd want to start with an EP first, because I also do want to experiment with making something that feels like sonically intentional and like it all is kind of cohesive, but they still have their own identities. But the thing is also like I want it to be a good combo of like songs that I've already written, but also maybe a couple of songs that I just have written or maybe had to completely scrap and rewrite. Because while I did mention that like I'm the type of person where I'll keep writing it and writing it and writing it until I get it perfect and then I don't change it, there also have been a lot of times where I like a progression, but I didn't like the set of lyrics that I wrote for that, so I'll scrap those lyrics and write new ones, but with that same progression. I have a couple of songs that I've done that on, so maybe we'll see. I think that's definitely in my goals, though, is to be able to like write and release an EP. That would be super. I think I'll keep going for like another 15 maybe, and I'll call it quits for today. I'm already so grateful to the number of people who have come out today to the stream. It really just warms my heart. I wasn't expecting too many people coming in, but the fact that we have a lot of people, we're super happy. Yeah, I'm super grateful. Everyone in this community has always been so supportive of me, and you know, sometimes, like, especially in creator spaces, it can feel super pressuring not to be posting all the time or to not do certain things or certain songs. I think like from when I started, I didn't really like to cover what was trending, I guess, unless like I was really like when it was by artists that I really liked, and then I was like, yeah, it just came out, fine, I'll do it. Like Natori is a fantastic example. I will cover most things Natori. But I never really found joy in like speedrunning songs that were popular, I guess, or like if I didn't really like them. So I ended up like focusing on other stuff, and it can be a bit disheartening when people don't really like what you put out first. But I think, you know, with over time, with just continuing to make what I like, more and more people who do like the stuff that I make. Like, I guess I'll talk about this. Like, fun fact about another reason why was that song, like that, the whole production of that was like 5 days. I really just put it together on a whim because I wanted to post something at the end of the year, and I think thinking back about like everything I'd gone through like in 2024, it felt like a really interesting thing to revisit, because I wrote that song in like, oh god, again, 2022, 2021. I wrote so much in 2022. I was in a place mentally. So I took a lot of inspo from this one song. I forget the name of the artist who wrote it and sang it, but that's why I thought about dying. Specifically Soraru's cover of it. I was listening to it one time and I felt like really emotional. And the Taitas in general were like very much a big part of my music like listening journey, and so I decided to write that as a response to another reason why that's why I thought about dying. And then I decided to post it end of the year because I felt it was like the end of. Oh, Nixie, will there be guitar tabs? There is actually. Funny you mentioned that, Nixie. I believe I have posted them already. They should be in the description of in the video description. I believe I made a post about it like 2 weeks after the video went up that I did. There were like at least 10 other people asking about tabs, and I did end up putting up tabs for that because a lot of people were asking. So you should be able to check there, and you should be there. And the reason why I think it resonated with me so much. Thank you for that song. Thank you. No, I was honestly really surprised with the amount of people that were commenting on Another Reason Why. And really shocked me. I guess it's also because it's only sort of recently that I started showing off like my music. I've been writing for quite a bit, but I never really felt like super comfortable like never felt super comfortable like sharing it, because one, it is very personal. I will admit it is very personal. My bad on that. I was busy yapping. But yeah, I guess on that, right, it is a very personal song. I think that's probably one of my most vulnerable, and so of course when you put something like that out on the internet, you don't really know how people are gonna respond to it, if people will get it, or they're just gonna be like, why are you depressed, blah blah blah, whatever. But I feel really lucky that, you know, it found people at a time they needed it, and I kind of want to keep making music that does that for people. I want to keep making music that speaks things into existence that maybe people don't really feel brave enough to say, or maybe they don't really know how to explain, because I think writing for me is always like a very therapeutic thing. It's a very like personal thing. I don't really write unless I feel like I have something to say, or I don't really write unless I what is it? I don't really write unless like I really have like something in mind that I want to do, or have an idea that I really like. So that one definitely was one of those times where like I wrote it so quickly that it just it kind of just came together and was a very strong message, and I'm really glad that it resonated with a lot of people. I've been looking for songs that could be played anywhere, and your songs fit best. I'm really glad to hear that, Nixie. Thank you, and thank you to everybody who's been streaming my music. Really, yeah. Another reason why blowing up was kind of the reason I decided to really pursue music a little bit more seriously. I'd always I knew I liked music, but I didn't really know if like I could realistically do it as a career. But I loved it enough to where like even if I didn't succeed numbers wise, I would still be happy because I was still doing something that I loved. But you know, sometimes you just can't help thinking about like what if I just tried a bit more effort and like if I just put in a little bit more effort to what I was doing, if I just kind of decided like, you know, I stop giving excuses and I work at it, then maybe it'll take me somewhere. And I kind of wish I did it a little faster, and I could have leveraged the support from Another Reason Why with more music. But you know, we live and we learn. Thank you for the donation, Reiki. Another Reason Why I changed my mentality so much, TY. I'm really glad to hear that. I'm really glad. And for me, it's like music. I think music is really powerful, like all kinds of art and content creation, that it can really say things that maybe like a normal person might not be able to say to you. But like somehow when it comes through the format of like music or art or writing, it's so powerful. And I hope I can continue to make music like that, and I can hope to continue connecting with people like that, because I think that kind of music, the kind of music that makes me the most happy, and also makes a lot of people that I know really. That's a good way to put it, Kizmet. That's a really good way to put it, and I feel the same. Yeah, I think that's also the difficult thing too. Is like when you get to a point where like you're also becoming a bit more of a professional, or like, you know, you're gaining capability and capacity to do it, you start obsessing over the details. I know when I was working on SEASPRAY, I really wanted this to be like perfect, and I spent so much like obsessing over the mix and making sure everything sounded good, and like sometimes I would be like, something's missing, I don't know what, and then I sometimes realized you have to just let it go. It's better to create and share something that isn't perfect than to spend so much time making something perfect, and then when it's ready to share, there's no one really who's going to listen. People like work that's worn in. People like work that feels like it's been touched by human hands and, you know, has been worked through a lot, even when it feels like a little bit rugged or a little bit imperfect. And I think that sort of feeling is what I really love to convey with my stuff. So definitely a lot of the stuff that I want to work on, and a lot of the songs that I'm hoping to put out in future will be more along these lines. Definitely I do want to experiment with a lot more genres, and the stuff that I'm working on with like other people and other collaborations will definitely be like along these lines. But yeah, for my personal music, I want to keep it I really think that, like, you know, this is the kind of music I want to keep making, and I hope I can never get tired of it because it's something that makes me really happy. And if it can make other people could never be God, Luna the Ponder, I could never be content with what I made at time. I get that, honestly. Yeah, I get that. I think when it comes to being satisfied with your work, and this is coming also from me, who is like, I go through so many stages of grief where it's like, oh, I like this, and then I'm like, damn, I hate this, or like, oh, I like this. It's like, for me, I just start trying to enjoy the process. If the process of it makes me happy, then 95% sure that I will come out with something I really, really like at the end. To be honest, when I was putting out SEASPRAY, when I was putting up the waiting room and like the premiere for SEASPRAY, I was so fucking nervous because I was like, I feel like this mix is so shit. I feel like I couldn't get it to where I wanted it to, and it really, really sucked. But I listened back to it now and I'm like, actually, in the grand scheme of things, it's not bad considering how much I did for this, and also just the kind of style I was going for. Maybe it's not like perfect, it's not like studio perfect, but it's like, it works and it conveys what needs to be conveyed. And I realize also a lot of the time, and for people who, you know, dabble in art, this is something we have to remember sometimes, is that to the average person or the average like human, a lot of them won't be able to hear or see the mistakes that you put in your stuff. A lot of them will not be able to see that. It'll just slide over. They'll just see it as a whole and they'll be like, whoa, it's really good. Yeah. Oh, to be honest, I'm Goose. I feel that, and like, oh, ooh, wait. To be honest, AI generates stuff being so streamlined, inoffensive, and perfect has def gotten more value to imperfect pieces. Absolutely. Like, by the way, just saying right now, I hate AI. I absolutely just really do not like AI. I do not endorse it at all. Most, if not all forms of AI, I really don't like, especially when it comes to creative industry. I think it's really ingenuine, and it's such a disrespect to the craft and the time that people put into these things that are jobs. It's like, oh, it's supposed to make life easier, then why are you taking it taking jobs away from the people whose work cannot actually be recreated with a computer? Like, it does not make any sense at all. I'm very anti-AI, and I agree absolutely, and I'm trying to also embrace that more of like, yeah, I think the imperfectness of something, that lived in feeling, is so important to art. I think even, maybe this is also just me personally, like, I feel like sometimes the standard for indie creators has also gotten really high, and sometimes it really feels like, you know, I can't catch up. I won't be able to make something that feels as good enough as them. But then, in the grand scheme of things, the world could use more art. The world could use a lot of people just making things. So I try to think about it, and I was like, somehow, somewhere, my music and what I make will find where it needs. And I try to focus more now on making stuff that makes me feel happy. Something that where I can listen back and be like, yeah, I'm really happy that I made this. Sorry, wow, that was a bit of a philosophical rant, but I don't know. I like talking about or thinking about, like, you know, the value of art. I really do think, like, and I'm so, most of my friends who are in the stream will know me for this. I absolutely, like, bother the hell out of some of them to be like, when are you making a cover? When are you making, like, when are you singing? When are you gonna get into this and that? When are you gonna put this out on the internet? Because I think genuinely, like, one, I of course really like to encourage my friends, but two, I genuinely think that, like, once you get over, like, posting something for the first time, it really becomes less and less scary. Like, when you kind of stop like putting yourself at the scale of someone else, it helps so much to just put stuff out and just enjoy putting things out and not really getting too much attention. Of course you want people to see your work. The point, I feel like, of a lot of art, especially when we share it out to people, is that we want people to see it and we want people to connect with it, because whether you like it or not, what you create is very much a part of you. You imbue a part of yourself into what you make. And when people see that and when people acknowledge and engage with it, it feels like a part of you is engaged as well, and you kind of feel connected in that sense. But where was I going with this? I feel like there's such a wall now when it comes to like the quality, or like, you know, you need to have this before you can put out stuff. I don't think that's true. I think the fact that Another Reason Why did as well as it did versus the rest of my content is a prime example of just putting yourself out there and just putting things that you like out there, whether they are like super polished or not. I think when I look back on it, like Another Reason Why is so like underproduced. Like there's just really not a lot to it. But because of the genuine ideas and message underneath it, it carried itself the way it needed to be carried, and it found people in the way that it needed to be found. So honestly, like, again, PSA, please just put out your work. I would love to see your work. When people have said, oh, I really want to cover Another Reason Why, or oh, I really want to cover your stuff, I want to work on doing covers because of you, like when people tell me things like that, I feel really happy. And if I can encourage people to cover things or like, you know, do more art, I'll be really, really happy. Hello there, Silver. Hello. I think we're going to be ending things a little soon. I've been yapping for nearly 2 hours, which is crazy. Yeah. Okay. So a couple things before I end stream for today. I think, as was mentioned before, if you look in the description, there is a Discord link. I do have a server. I am planning to hopefully do a lot more server related events, whether it's game nights, watching stuff, or karaoke's. So if you want to be able to talk to me, or you want to hang out with people, please go join the Discord. We would love to have you. Second, I've replaced the link, I believe, in the description, so you'll be able to go and save and listen to SEASPRAY on multiple other platforms. Spotify, Apple Music, stuff like that, BANDCAMP. If you would really like to support me further, please consider buying from BANDCAMP, because I do take a bit of a higher cut from BANDCAMP. It would really mean a lot. I've also considered, and I hope to in the future maybe do like a Patreon or some sort of membership system to be able to share a lot of more whips with people, and also to kind of engage people a bit further and garner a bit of support to help this channel kind of be a bit more, what do you call it, self-sustaining. Because pretty much like commissioning people and all that is coming out of my own pocket. I don't like I have savings, but you know, if I want this to be something that I can sustain, I do want to be able to generate a little bit of income that I can reinvest back into my channel. So maybe be on the lookout for that, I guess, if you are interested. Holy shit! Whoa! Thank you so much, Bird Brain, for the akasup. Holy shit! Oh, thank you. Hypothetically, if someone thank you so much, and thank you also to Goose for the $5. Speaking of art, hypothetically, if someone wanted to make fan art of your avatar, do you have a reference sheet or something available anywhere? Actually, yes, there is one on the Discord server. There is the channel with my reference there. You can also just use the model that you see on screen for anything. But thank you so much, Bird Brain. Holy hell, W Red. Thank you so much. Holy hell. And thank you to Goose as well. Thank you to everyone who has been donating. This is wow. Thank you so much, Bird. Thank you. Wow. Oh, okay. I think before we end, I do want to ask, what kinds of streams would you guys want to see potentially from me in the future? I do want to do, like, you know, yapping streams, like just chatting is fun. Maybe more Q&A related streams. I also want to be able to do some gaming streams. I have a couple friends that I do want to play games with. Do want to play some Peak. Do want to play a little bit of Hades too. I've been playing a lot of Hades too recently. Potentially, if I can get people online to stream and play, maybe Elden Ring Night Rain. We'll see. I do want to do some gaming streams. Karaoke streams are also definitely on the table. I do just need to set up, what is it? I do need to set up a bit of a better setup for my guitar, because a lot of the times when I do karaoke, I do like to use my guitar, and I haven't quite, what is it? I haven't quite figured out my setup for that yet. Work streams are also another thing. Work streams are another thing, like if I'm working on any covers, like a stream where you watch me make a cover. Watch me make a cover from start to finish, or mostly start to finish, then maybe that would also be good. But what if Elden Ring Seamless co-op? Oh, how? Sorry, but funny Silk Song came out. Oh, so true. I have also been considering playing Hollow Knight to prepare for Silk Song. I still think about Aggro Crab's like message about like, you think we're changing? Nah, like, what is it? No. Too bad, we're gonna be the ones playing Silk Song, by the way. So like, that's why we so-and-so, like, people were pushing their games into September, which is really funny. Fire, I love music. Not one to tune into streams, but yours are actually so comfy. I love my yeah. Thank you so much, Ricky. Got the Hollow Knight stream. Yeah, Hollow Knight's gonna be one thing I definitely gonna be like, ugh. I'm not the best with platformers, and I do tend to rage a little bit, so we'll see. Work stream would be kind of peak, not gonna lie. Yeah, I love watching people do work streams. I think they're also a great way for people to be productive. So maybe like doing work on the side, or like watching me record or like mix a cover would be really fun. I think like also being able to answer questions about mixing. I don't consider myself to be like an expert, but I think I've picked up enough to where like I consider myself pretty okay when it comes to mixing. Yeah, those kinds of streams would be fun. But gaming, for sure, I do want to play. I have a bunch of people who I can definitely drag for like Eek, or maybe Cards Against, or Uno, or you know, Repo would also be fun. I know we have enough people where I could technically grab enough people to play Repo together, since we haven't played Repo in a hot second. That would be fun. I also want to use streaming as a chance to like collab with a lot of other people as well through streaming. A lot of the times when I've collabed with people, it's largely through like covers and stuff. So you've seen me do like duet covers or like participate in choruses. But I do want to be able to stream and with people and like, you know, chat with people. So we'll see. I might grab a couple people soon. We'll see. I'll think about it for sure. Yeah. Okay. I think I've yapped enough. If you don't. But once again, thank you so much everybody for coming. I am genuinely so shocked and so happy with the turnout of everything, despite the scuff and everything. This week has been so crazy, and with the amount of people that have been coming to the channel and looking at my stuff, it really does mean a lot. So thank you so much. What is it? Do you perhaps know about Yu-Gi-Oh? I do know about Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't play. I've seen a little bit of it, but not too much. I was a Cardfight Vanguard kid. If you know that series. But I think that's enough. I'll say. I need to stop. But thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Stream will be ending now. Hopefully I'll get to hopefully I'll get to stream again soon, or if not, you will probably be seeing a cover in September. I have one lined up. I'm just waiting on the video. But yeah, thank you so much. Bye. That's all good. You guys get to hear me a little bit